Welcome back to the channel. I've spent an entire week with this 2024 Chevrolet Blazer EV RS. It's one of the most unique looking EVs on the market today, and it happens to be a fully loaded SUV. I'm actually a fan of it. I've really enjoyed my time, so I'm going to show you the exterior, the interior, and of course a POV drive. Let's get right into it. So first up, as usual, is the front for the Chevrolet Blazer EV RS. You can see we have the RS badge, as well as like a big slab of, I guess, piano black here that's going to collect a lot of bugs, but no worries with the red color. You don't really see it too much. I do really enjoy this front end. It's very sporty, very aggressive, looks really cool. I like how the Chevrolet badge lights up and it creates a full light bar right across the front. You can see it's more of a lower ride for an SUV, even in the front here, but it just looks really aggressive, really sporty, exactly what I'd expect from an RS badged Chevrolet. So let's take a look under the hood, or since it's a battery, let's take a look under the floor. We've got an 85 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery giving us 499 kilometers of range. I've seen just over the 500 mark on 100%, so not too bad, but 499, I have seen that number when I'm in sport mode, so it's pretty accurate, the number that GM gives here. We've also got the all-wheel drive variant, so that means I've got a motor in the front and a motor in the back. Those are going to combine for 288 horsepower, 333 pound-feet of torque. Now, if you want the ultimate power from a Blazer EV, you're going to want to get the SS version that boasts well over 500 horsepower, and that thing will be the quickest off the line. This one is good for the daily drive, and it looks really sporty, so I'm happy with it. Now, this vehicle will also accept a 150 kilowatt DC fast charging. That is going to take you from 10 to 80% in just 35 minutes. We've also got a max towing capacity of 1,500 pounds, so that's pretty good too. And this is built off of GM's EV platform that we're seeing a lot lately on other manufacturers as well. You know, it's probably pretty good. All right, so next up quickly is the side profile for the Chevrolet Blazer EV RS. You can see we've got these really nice aero wheels right here. These are the base wheels that you can option, and you can see how, like I said, it's a little bit of a low ride height. Reminds me a lot of the Kia EV6's ride height, but I don't mind it. It's still got all the SUV room for an EV, and it's really cool. So let's get a little bit close here. Let's show you these nice aero rims. I like them a lot. Very good design. They're very big as well. Match the overall body. There is a charging port on the other side, which I will show you. I've got 4 doors with one touch lock and unlock. It's not an intelligent door handle where if you slide your hand here, it's not going to do anything. You actually have to press it, but at least there's 4, so that's really good. And again, I just love this paint color. Looks phenomenal, and it really does turn heads. I mean, you can just see it from the side profile. It looks really nice. So let me walk on over here to our charging port here. This is something that kind of concerns me. I hope it doesn't break, because check this out. It's the coolest thing that I've seen on an EV so far. See how that opens? Really cool, really aggressive. So that's where you're gonna have your fast charging port. You're just gonna remove this little tab down here, and you're gonna be able to use that. But I've been using just the basic one for the level 2, and it's been working. In the winter though, hopefully it doesn't freeze. It seems to kind of pop out and pop back in with some speed, so it should be able to break through most ice, but I haven't been able to test it in the winter, so I can't really tell you that yet. So last but not least, let's take a look at the rear for the Chevrolet Blazer EV RS. I really like the rear too. Again, unique design. It's got a very wide back end as well. I like the way that the tail lights kind of wrap around the body there. We've also got the nice Blazer badge that is blacked out. Chevrolet logo is blacked out because we do have the package that will do that for you. And then we've got the all-wheel drive and the nice RS badge. It is not a sticker, it's in fact a badge, so I like that as well. We've got a backup camera there and a digital camera right here for the digital inside camera, so that's very nice. Parking sensors as well, so that's going to help you too. And then we've got the automatic tailgate. Of course, in the price point, that's very nice to have, and you can see we've got a ton of storage. We've also got a ton of storage underneath the floor here. You've got this nice pocket for your small stuff. You could also probably squeeze some stuff in on the sides there as well. Fold the seats down, you're gonna have a ton of room, so really decent. You've got your Blazer space, but it happens to be electric, so that's nice. So that's going to do it for my exterior tour of the Chevrolet Blazer EV RS. Next, let's hop in the interior because it's really cool. There's a bunch of stuff to go over. And then, of course, the POV drive. All right, so up first, as usual, is the rear for the Blazer EV. Look at this. We have some nice, good split of materials here, like this kind of gloss black here, and we've got kind of blue and red stitching with a nice touch material here right on the bottom, which I think is really nice. There's no decals on the door sill or anything like that, but that's fine. You can see how big of an entryway we have and just like how much space I have just from standing here. You can see there as well, the baby seat fits perfectly well. Nice amount of headroom as well. So let's hop in. I'll kind of show you what it's like. behind my driver profile. It's so easy to get in this thing. It's absolutely wonderful. Close the door. We've got vents back here. No HVAC controls for the rear passengers, but we do have 2 levels of heated seat, which is very nice. And we have 2 USB-C ports and a ton of foot and leg room. I can do a road trip back here, no problem. Really easy if you have children as well. They can sit in here, no problem, and you can put stuff there as well. The entire baby shell does not take up the full space here, which I find really good. We've got a little cup holder that folds down. So yeah, look, not a lot going on in the back seat. We do have a little light there. There's no sunroof. And that's the only thing I feel like I'm missing. Maybe a panoramic sunroof would have been cool, would have been nice, but it's not a necessity. I think the room is the necessity back here, especially in an SUV like this. We do have, you know, a ton of space, which I absolutely love, especially EV, the way that EVs do it. It's very good. So not a lot to go over back here because that's pretty much all there is going on. So let's hop up front. All right, the business end next is the front of the Blazer EV. You can see we got the same kind of materials, same kind of split in the stuff too. I like the red stitching here as well. Nice mix of leather and plastic, which is nice. 2 levels of memory seats right here. Good to see. Take a look at the seats though. We have like the RS badge that's built in there, very nice. And then we got the trim for the seats, which is also really nice, but let's hop in. Very easy to do. Once I close the door, I can put my foot on the brake, or I can just close the door with the key in my pocket and everything starts up. And this is it. There's no noise, there's no ignition, nothing like that. So this is what you're looking at. You're greeted by this very nice looking steering wheel, like the red stitching, like kind of how it has like a flat bottom right here as well, with the RS badge, blacked out Chevrolet logo, very good. We've got, you know, kind of our infotainment controls here, as well as our heated steering button, and our volume controls is on the back of the steering wheel. And then we have our cruise control stuff, you know, your gap adjust, and then you're on and off of the cruise control. There's no Super Cruise here. We don't have that package, or I don't even know if it was available to option on the Blazer EV, so don't have it here. Don't really feel like I'm missing it. I don't do that much long trips, so I don't really feel like I need it. Really nice digital gauge cluster, which has a bunch of different themes that you can customize, and you can kind of go through there. This one's going to be really good for when you're traveling or when you're going somewhere you're not familiar with. This one too is pretty good. You got a simple one, and then you got the one that I use all the time. You can see my efficiency so far, 76.2 kilometers, 5.0 kilowatt hours used. So pretty good, and it's generally the same thing. You can see the 2200 mile there, or kilometers, and then you can see it's a 5.1. So it's pretty good. It's a very efficient vehicle, despite being an all-wheel drive variant. I like that fact. Left-hand side, we've got the lane keep assist on or off, the brake hold, the illumination stuff, and then, of course, the parking brake. I like these vents, very Camaro-esque, very look, you know, it gives me the Camaro vibes. I like it. You can kind of adjust the stuff by turning it here, whether you want flow or not, which is really cool. And then we move over here to our Android Automotive built-in kind of infotainment system, which is really good. No Apple CarPlay, no Android Auto. I think that might be the first time I'm saying that this year, and it feels kind of weird, but like I've got my Spotify connected, I've got Amazon Alexa, I can go in the Play Store, I can get a bunch of stuff going like that. There's no built-in YouTube, which I feel like is a miss. I feel like a big screen like this, Tesla does it. You know, they don't have Apple CarPlay, but they got the YouTube. They got a bunch of stuff in here that kind of makes it easy to use, but you can't get it here, or at least you can't get it yet on here, but you can see we do have Waze. I really like the Google Maps system here. It's really, really solid. You can kind of, and it's very responsive too. Like, look how quickly I'm moving around. It's very good with updating live traffic and stuff like that, so that's going to be solid. My Chevrolet app, you've got charging stuff, so you can schedule charging, check the battery, stuff like that. So I like it a lot, and we also have different drive modes that we can go through. You can see in the My mode, I've got the steering in sport, brake feel in normal, and then the acceleration in sport, but you can also set it to normal. You got sport, it's going to give you some like helpful tips and stuff like that too, so it's very cool. We've got like some quick controls here that you can go on the side, so this is all usable screen. The volume knob is also quite cool. You can see it's kind of integrated there. It's nice little designs, touches like that is very cool. You can also enable your one pedal driving, which I always have. Then we have our heated and ventilated seats here in the RS, very nice. HVAC controls are all right there. You can kind of control them with some physical buttons, but a lot of the stuff you're going to click and kind of do that as you will. You can turn it on or off like that as well. AC or heat, you can do all that there as well, but it also has its own dedicated app should you want to like really go into depth with it and see it big. It's really cool. Yeah, and there's so much to go over here. I don't know if I could cover it all in one video. I just think, you know, you're going to have to sit in one and explore it all for yourself, but it's really fast. That's my main thing. It's really fast. It's really well laid out, very easy to use. If you're an Android user already, then you're really going to be familiar with it. So like I said, dual zone automatic climate control. We've got some storage here for some stuff, some deep storage in there, which is, I mean, it's just ridiculously deep with 2 USB ports. The only thing that sucks is like I can't close this if I have something plugged in. Like it kind of clips it a bit, and that just might be my wire, but I feel like I should be able to keep stuff plugged in and also have the wire come out, but also close this. I don't know, that's just a little pick for me, but 2 cup holders, wireless charger right here, perfect place for the wireless charger, because when you're going fast, it doesn't really move around that much. Tons of storage in here, nice and big armrests as well. Another shot of the passenger seat, really looks nice. Love the red stitching. It's very comfortable. There's not a lot of bolstering, which in an RS version, I feel like I'm missing that a little bit. I would like a little bit more, because this is kind of a sporty variant. It's not the SS, but still, it's the sporty variant of the all-wheel drive, so it'd be nice to have. Then when you look on the passenger side, you kind of got this carbon fiber kind of look right here, as well as some nice mix-up between the leather and the plastic. I like it a lot. And then last but not least, I've got the digital rearview mirror. So there it is, and there is the digital. Very cool. I use it all the time. Solid at night, heads-up display as well. Really fully loaded. I mean, they've thrown pretty much everything at this thing. Look, we've got 360-degree cameras. Can't go wrong at all. Really, really solid. It's fully loaded, this RS. I really like it. I think it's a really good platform to start with. I think that it's got enough room. I do feel like it's a little bit, or it feels a little bit smaller than the gas version of the Blazer RS that I drove like later last year or early last year. You guys really enjoyed that one. I hope you're enjoying this one just as much. But yeah, I find it sits a little lower, this one, when you're sitting in the interior. But I'll show you that more in depth, because I'm going to take it for a POV drive right now. All right, on the road now, 2024 Chevrolet Blazer EV RS. What a nice place to spend time all week. I mean, now it's kind of like dark out. There's just clouds everywhere, and but honestly, good time to film POV, because you can kind of see everything. You can see how my dashboard lights up. You can see how massive the screen is and how well laid out it is. It's like I have to lean a little bit forward to touch the Google screen should I need to, but usually when I'm navigating, you don't really need to touch it for any reason. I've got all the controls here on my steering wheel to, you know, skip the song, turn up the volume, turn down the volume. So like that's all very easy. Visibility's been really, really good. Like I said, and maybe you can kind of get a sense of it now. Like, you know, when you usually sit in an SUV, you kind of sit higher usually, or you feel like you're higher up. Like say if I were to get in that Honda right there, well, I'd feel a lot higher than I am in here. And the same thing, it got the same vibe from the Kia EV9. But that still doesn't mean that it doesn't count as an SUV or anything like that. It just kind of gives you a lower kind of drive. And if you like that, if you like the way the sedans drive, but maybe you don't want to upgrade to an SUV, well, this might be something pretty cool for you to get into, because it's kind of a lower ride height. Now, I did mention performance a little bit. I'm in like basically sport mode, but I can actually turn on true sport mode here. So we'll go drive modes, and then it's true sport mode now, as that guy gets in my way. And then we can give it some gas or some acceleration, because there's no gas. And look, that's a pretty good takeoff, right? Like, I'm pretty much ahead of any traffic that would challenge me. And in my mode, I pretty much always have it, you know, to accelerate in sport mode. So, you know, I just kind of keep things there, and it's been very good all week. Like 200, just over 200 horsepower isn't bad for an EV, and especially with the all-wheel drive, it makes things feel a little bit faster. If you really want a performance Blazer, you're gonna have to option the SS. That's gonna give you over 500 horsepower, you know. But do I feel like you absolutely need that? No. Do you even need over 200 horsepower? I mean, maybe for an all-wheel drive. But really, for any normal car, you can go with like 180, 195 horsepower. You're probably going to be fine. But also, range has been good too. You can see I'm sitting at 89%, 450 kilometers, and I'm in basically the sport mode. So the range is going to decrease there. But if I put it in normal mode, I might get a bit back. No, I don't. All right. So, okay. So never mind. It doesn't matter. It's just, I guess that's as best it's going to do in any mode, which honestly, I don't mind. I don't like when I turn stuff off and the range goes up and it's like, it's all weird. So that's completely fine. But yeah, it's really comfortable. You can see like I'm on the highway, but there's not a lot of work for me to do. Like this isn't necessarily like the most sporty experience that you're going to get, but I don't think you're buying this expecting that. I think you're buying this just to be a really efficient electric vehicle that has a ton of space, that has like a lot of technology in it. Like I said, 360-degree camera, built-in Spotify, built-in Google Play Store. The only thing that sucks is you can't play YouTube here. That's boring. Like, they have the Play Store and you can't even download YouTube on it. So like when you're charging, you're kind of eh. And this actually does have access to Tesla's supercharger network. So you do need to buy an adapter, and I don't think they're cheap. You got to buy one from GM, and then you can plug that in. You can use Tesla's supercharger network, which kind of opens up a lot of charging, capabilities, especially across the US and Canada. I feel like that maybe traveling with that, I'd have a little bit less range anxiety. So that's very nice too. But yeah, overall, really, really smooth power delivery, really, really comfortable ride quality as well. Like, I don't really feel many bumps. It's not rigid at all, the suspension. This platform that they've got here for a lot of their EVs, I think even the Silverado uses it. We know the Cadillac Lyriq uses it. We know the Prologue uses it. And we also know that the Acura ZDX uses it. So like, there's a bunch of manufacturers involved in this platform that GM's developed. And I think it's a really good one. This is my first experience with it, I believe. And I'm going to get another one next week, hopefully, with a special car that we've got coming up. I won't say it in case it gets canceled. But yeah, so it's a really good platform. It's solid, and you can tell just by the way the Blazer drives. And I mean, obviously that's probably why, a lot of manufacturers have gone for it. Like, look, you're not going to get like sporty. Yes, it is a RS version, but I think that's more looks, and it's not necessarily in the performance. Like, I don't feel like I got braking performance or I've got super handling or anything like that. But again, it really doesn't matter, because this right here, this straight line speed, unless you're an absolute maniac, that at full power should be enough to, fulfill you on a daily basis. And that's what it's done for me, right? Like, I'm not looking at this to say like, oh, it needs to perform, it needs to have, 0 to 60 time of 4 seconds, 8 seconds, whatever it is. Yeah, I don't care about any of that. It's just a really solid grocery getter that is really comfortable. You're gonna want to maybe take this thing on road trips if you don't have range anxiety like I do. I just don't know if the whole market's there, but the fact that we have Tesla supercharger is incredible. So that's really, really good news. There's no Super Cruise here, so that's the only thing that's like, it would have been nice to see it on, basically the top trim of the RS all-wheel drive variant. Would have been nice. But if you want more range, you can always option the rear-wheel drive. You will get more range that way, and I believe you might actually get more power, which usually isn't the case. But for the Blazer EV, it is. And yeah, it's just been such a good time with it. Like, the only thing I guess people are going to have the biggest issue with is the fact that now we don't have Apple Carplay or Android Auto. It's not wired, it's not wireless, that you just can't have it. So you got to pair your phone to Bluetooth to take your calls, and you've also got to have a Spotify account or a YouTube Music account that will work too. And then you can use the built-in music, or you can stream directly from your phone, obviously. But it's not as intuitive as, say, having something like phone projection. And I don't like that they took that away. I feel like you should give the user or the buyer the option to phone project or to use the in-car stuff. I don't feel like you should, okay, you're buying this and now you're forced absolutely to use this system. I feel like there's so much better ways to go about it. Maybe making it so good that you don't want to use the phone projection, but some people will always want to do that. Some people will not want to learn a new system. They want to just plug their iPhone in. They know how CarPlay works. They know how Android Auto works. They don't want to learn how this works. And I completely understand that fact. And it is a little bit of a shame that GM decided to take it away in a lot of their EVs, but I believe in a lot of their gas cars, they're still keeping both. So it's funny how that happens. I feel like it can even rip around corners like that. Like, absolutely no worries. I just, if you want it to be sporty, I guess it can be, because it's got like the instant torque like most EVs do to kind of keep up with that. But do we need it? Absolutely not. This has just been a really good grocery getter. So overall, I really enjoyed my time with the Blazer EV RS. I think it's a great choice for anybody looking to step into the EV market if you are willing to learn a new infotainment system and not have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. If that's a deal breaker, then the deal's broken already and you're not going to want this vehicle. But if you can get past that, if you're willing to use it, if you're willing to kind of work with it, I guess, and use the new system, then you're going to be happy, I think, because I don't think it's that bad. I mean, if you're a Spotify user and Google Maps user, well, basically, you don't really need much else, right? And also, if you want quite a bit of room, this car has that too. It's really comfortable, a very smooth power delivery, a very smooth overall ride quality as well. We've got the digital mirror and stuff like that here ready to go. You know, it's very fully loaded, the all-wheel version of the RS. I don't feel like, obviously I feel like it's expensive, there's no doubt, but I don't feel like I'm missing anything tech-wise other than Apple Carplay. But, you know, I feel like it's got enough performance to justify the price. It's also got enough space and stuff to justify it. But I don't know if you're going to agree with that. So let me know in the comments what you think of the Blazer EV RS. Are you in the market for one? Do you own one? Do you own maybe the real-world drive version of just the base Blazer EV? Let me know what you own. Let me know what you're thinking. I want to hear from you. And with that being said, I will see you in the next week. See you in the next car. Take care.